My name is Elamik Drucker. I'm a hypnotherapist and regression therapist, and today I'd like to talk to you about the different stations people visit when they do a between life spiritual regression. Between life spiritual regression, just really briefly, is as the name would suggest, we go to the period in between lives. So obviously I'm alive today, and if for a reason that I've had other lives before, then where did I go between my last death and my birth now in this life as Elamik? Um, as we said, even though the content of these sessions is really, really personal for every single client, um, people tend to visit the same stations, they have the same categories of information. And the first one of these is being when they cross over. The heart has stopped beating, they've stopped breathing, and then they cross over to the in-between life stage. And some people describe that as they feel a pull. Some might see lights. Some might say, oh, I'm shooting up like a rocket. I had another client who was felt themselves walking in a meadow, and then I think it gradually became lighter, or she gradually started seeing stars. Another one was somebody in a tall chamber like an iceberg, and there was a kind man pouring water over the head. So that tends to be healing, crossing over. Then the second station, or the second thing that tends to happen with people, they tend to meet with people, either their spirit guide or somebody from the life they've just left. And sometimes people don't go through healing first. Sometimes they straight away are met by somebody. So the order of these can vary a little bit. But meeting with a wise one or a spirit guide is usually a lovely experience. I had one client saying that there was a gentleman there and he wore a burgundy-like suit, like a Victorian English suit. And it's funny because this client isn't originally from the UK, but she has really fond memories of being in the UK. So it's interesting to also to see those links. I had another client who, after she passed away, felt herself in a swimming pool, and she was swimming and she was just zooming through the water. So it can be really personal, the information that comes. I had somebody else in a forest, I think it was, and gradually she was just walking through the forest. Gradually she felt sort of layers of old energy being removed, the earthly, the heavy energy, and gradually she just sort of felt becoming lighter. Then the next station most people tend to go to is a meeting with the soul group. And again, that is very different. Usually they say, oh, those are my friends. Or they might say, oh, they have the same color as me. If you've read any of Michael Newton's books, you know, he's really big on colors and the hierarchy of those colors. I don't tend to pay so much attention to the hierarchy because since Michael Newton's books have been written, a lot more has become known about these colors and about the really personal importance and relevance for the client. So it's not necessarily to say that a purple soul is more advanced than a yellow soul or anything like that, but it's more, I tend to use them more to recognize anybody that's in a similar soul group as a client. If they say, oh, that they are similar color than me, they look like me, they're my friends, it's more likely that they're members of the soul group, rather than if they say, oh, they have different colors, they look very different. It might be that they are like a guide or people from another soul group, or sometimes a secondary soul group, as some people have more than one. So generally, we tend to recognize a soul group as like-minded souls that look similar, and it tends to be a really nice reunion of friends. Not always, but usually it is. Most clients also, a really important part of the session is a meeting with the wise ones, the elders, the council, whatever clients want to call them. The meeting place is also very different. Some clients describe it as like a library or like a temple or just a really big study hall, whereas others might say, oh, there's a clearing in the forest. They might meet with just one single wise being. They might meet with like a council. They might have several beings there. Sometimes there is jewelry, emblems, or symbols that these guides present themselves with. And there's also a lot of humor there. Sometimes they sort of like to joke around a little bit in a nice way, obviously. Um, the next station from there, after people have had the meeting with the wise ones, they maybe have gotten advice about the current life, about their soul progression, then some people actually get to choose the life that they're going to leave. It might be a question of, oh, I have 3 choices there. I remember one client was able to sort of pick bodies the way you pick clothes in a department store or in a shop. He would just see those bodies hanging on racks, and you could decide which one would be most suitable. Sometimes clients can actually try these bodies out, or they might be shown something on a video screen. They can see significant events in the life or possible significant events. And it can be really interesting for clients to see, oh, I chose that particular one, meaning the one that they have now in the current life, because it would enable me to learn about kindness, learn about tolerance, whatever it is that they're actually learning. Then from there, once they've selected the body, sometimes they select the circumstances, their finances, their health, the family members, obviously. Sometimes it's a package deal, but sometimes clients can actually, have a big say in that. Then after that, they tend to get ready for their incarnation. So we follow the soul as it merges with the baby. We find out why it merged with the baby at that time. I found in my sessions, the time when the soul merges with the baby varies hugely. It varies from right there at insemination. One client has said, oh, I'm actually helping with that, with the fertilization of the egg, to a client that came in just before birth. And the reason for that was they said, oh, mum wasn't quite ready and wasn't quite sure, but came in just before the 9-month mark, because by then mum had decided, okay, let's just get on with it. Let's just do it already. And then after that, as I said, after we leave the baby, everything's nice, baby wrapped up nicely with mum and dad, we then go back to the wise ones and we ask any questions that the client has come in with. And again, these questions can vary hugely from personal experiences, coincidences, synchronicities, health, finances, allergies, relationships, next steps, careers, anything and everything. These sessions are always recorded the way that I do them, and people tend to find that the information comes in sort of in layers. They tend to get some information which is really valid for them now, and when they listen to it again in a year or 5 years, 10 years time, they find other stuff is relevant for them then. So these sessions are actually absolutely beautiful, wonderful to facilitate. If you feel drawn, if this resonates, do get in touch. I'll be uploading other videos about this subject, including between lives experiences with non-human resonant souls. So if that resonates, do watch out for that. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again.